What is up, cool kids? I'm Cool Trainer Gavin, and we got some news that dropped today. So welcome to the first, Pokemon news segment that I have done in quite a while. It is currently 2:30 a.m. So I wish I could have gotten this news out to you yesterday, but sadly I am still knee-deep in research that needs to be done by today. So this is the first time, free moment that I've had pretty much all day. But today we're going to be talking about the fact that they released the hidden abilities for starters for Gen 7. I'm kind of indifferent about it. There's one that clearly stands out above the rest of them. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Nintendo Direct and some of my takeaways from that as well in this video. I'll probably do a Showdown Live, probably going up sometime next week. Maybe even, probably Monday for, showcasing Incineroar in probably in VGC. But anyway, we have Incineroar now having Intimidate. This is going to make Incineroar infinitely more useful in both VGC and singles. It might, what tier is Incineroar? I think it's NU. I think that'll move it up. I honestly think it'll at least to Borderline 2. Is that Borderline 2? No, Borderline 3. I definitely think it'll at least move up to Borderline 3. But specifically in VGC, Incineroar does what Arcanine does, but a little bit better in my opinion. Because outside of Wild Charge and Extreme Speed, Incineroar does what Arcanine does better. It's slightly less bulky, sort of. Its HP is the same. Let's pull up Arcanine. Let's see. Its HP, Incineroar's HP is better, and both of its defenses are better. So there's that. They both get Intimidate. Incineroar's attack stat is higher, not by much, but it is higher. It is slower, but that makes Incineroar very, very useful on Trick Room teams, which is what you see it on a lot of times anyway. It gets Fake Out, which is great. It gets U-Turn. It is immune to Tapu Lele's Psychic, which is huge. And it doesn't take super effective damage from Moonblast either, which is also really, really nice. It gets a lot of great coverage. It gets Knockoff, which Arcanine would love to have. It just gets a lot of really useful moves for its job. So there's a reason Arcanine was the most used Pokemon in VGC 2017. And I think Incineroar will become one of the more used, not the most used, but one of the more used Pokemon in VGC 2018 now that Intimidate is now available. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Singles, like I said, it'll probably move it up half a tier to Borderline 3. But I don't really see it moving up to RU anytime soon, if I'm being completely honest. But Intimidate is always a nice ability for Pokemon to have. Primarina, on the other hand, it's a little underwhelming, because both Primarina and Decidueye got signature abilities, which I'm kind of confused that they did that for 2, but not Incineroar. Not that I'm complaining, because Intimidate's a great ability, but Liquid Voice, just really underwhelming, because it changes sound moves to Water type, but it doesn't give them the boost like Pixelate or Aerolate does. So really, there's not much of a point. There's really only 3 moves that can take decent advantage of this. It's going to be Hyper Voice. Not Hyper Beam. I wish. Hyper Voice. The only thing that this would help with is that you can use it in VGC to have a nice, base 90 stab Water type move without using Sparkling Aria, because Sparkling Aria also hits your teammate. And also, this Hyper Voice will not cure burns if you happen to burn something on the other side of the field with a Skull. So that's kind of nice, but like I said, it doesn't hit any harder than Sparkling Aria would, so that makes it marginally more useful, but not too much. Let's see, what else was there? Echoed Voice could be kind of cool, because now it gets Stab, and if you run like a Metronome Echoed Voice set, that could get very powerful very quickly. Or even a Specs Liquid Voice, Echoed Voice rather, that could also get quite powerful pretty quickly. But I think probably the most useful one in VGC anyway, because I don't think this ability will affect singles whatsoever, is Perish Song. And why this is interesting is that if you Perish Song, so say you have Primarina and Gastrodon out. If you Perish Song with Primarina, that will activate Gastrodon's Storm Drain. It will give Gastrodon a +1 special attack, and Gastrodon will not be affected by the Perish Song. That also goes for what is it? Water Absorb. Goes for Water Absorb as well. So you can even heal one of your own Pokemon by using Perish Song. So that can be pretty useful as well. So say like you could even, if you could figure out a way to trap with this, that'd be really, really useful. It's super gimmicky. I probably might try running it like once, but it's not anything to build a team around for sure. So at the end of the day, it gets marginally better. Definitely not enough to change how it's used in UU. It's just not. And then probably the least useful of all of them is Long Reach on Decidueye, which means none of the Decidueye's moves make physical contact. So say you want to Leaf Blade something, and your opponent switches in something with a Rocky Helmet, or Iron Barbs, or Static, or Flame Body. None of those will activate if you hit it with a physical contact move. Which, at first, seems pretty useful. But when you look at what Decidueye actually does, it doesn't alter it too much, because Spirit Shackle... Where are you? Spirit Shackle doesn't make physical contact anyway. Most Decidueyes run sort of like a bulkier set with Spirit Shackle, Toxic Defog, and then recovery move like Synthesis. The only thing that I could see potential for is if you run sort of like a Scarf Lead, so you don't get staticked. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't see it being useful really at all. But yeah, to get all these stars, all you have to do is go to Pokemon Bank, turn on Pokemon Bank, and then go pick them up from Pokemon Center in-game. I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it yet, but I am gonna do it just for fun. You can also reset them for shinies and natures and stuff too, so that's pretty cool. Now, on to the cool stuff. Don't look at my desktop. Don't look at it. We got some Pokemon news in this direct, but that's not the most important thing, but I'm gonna talk about it. Turn the volume not off, we'll turn it down. So, we did get some Pokemon news. We got some... Why is the sound not recording? There we go. So, I'll probably get this game. It looks okay, if I'm being honest. It's Detective Pikachu. I think the graphics look really cool. I think the premise is kind of cool. And I love non-main series Pokemon games, so I probably will get it just to play it. I wish it was on Switch, because then I could record it, but it's not. I do think it seems quite fun, as well as kind of puzzly, which I love puzzle games. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's not anything, crazy. It's not like a new Pokemon game like I kind of wish, but that's pretty much it. For Pokemon, anyway. We also have, let me peep. Luigi's Mansion, the original GameCube game, being ported to 3DS. I think it's pretty cool. I never had a GameCube, unfortunately. So it's like, I don't really know how to feel about it because I don't have any frame of reference, I guess. I'm just gonna keep the sound off. I don't have any frame of reference. So it's like, it seems like it'd be fun, but I'm probably not gonna get it, to be honest. I think a lot of people will enjoy it, but I'm not gonna be one of them. What else we got? New Kirby game coming up. This seems pretty cool. And then, so a weird sushi game that I don't know what to think of. This game seems pretty cool. I think it's called, I don't remember what it's called. It's a Japanese word. Okami. this seemed really cool. It's very, I love the art style. It's very anime-like, which I love. I've heard that the story is quite good because this is an HD remake of an old game. I've heard that it is a quite good story as well as pretty challenging. It does get some motion control stuff, which I don't mind. But also, I didn't even know my Switch had a touchscreen, if I'm being honest. I didn't know that was a touchscreen. But it's pretty cool that you can do that to play in handheld mode. Overall, I think it looks like a pretty solid game, and I might end up getting it if it's at sort of a budget price, maybe $30 or less. So, we'll see. I don't know. It comes out, I think, July. I'm not sure. I think the mechanics look pretty good. I think it seems like a simple enough story, and I think it'd be actually a quite fulfilling story to play as well. So when does it come out? This summer. So probably July or August time. What's next? Oh yeah, the sushi game is next. I'm not going to bother talking about the sushi game. Octopath Traveler was something that they talked about. I remember it was in the last Nintendo Direct that they did a couple months ago. I was really excited for Octopath Traveler. I believe they put out a final release date for it, but I'm not positive. July 13th, that's right. So it's basically just like an RPG that has like really beautiful graphics that go, like there's some aspects that are, you know, like 3D models and 3D rendering, where there's other aspects that are, let me find a good picture, a good scene. So like, look at that. Like you can see like water sparkling in the background, but while the foreground is pixely and sort of 8-bit, which I love. That has so much nostalgia for me, playing a lot of games as a kid in 8-bit. So I think it looks like a beautiful game, and I think the gameplay might be a little too complicated for what they're trying to go for, but overall, I think, you know, same thing. I think if it's less than $30, I probably will end up getting it. I might even let's play it on the channel, who knows. Don't care about that. They're porting Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls, to Switch. I've never been too big of a fan of Dark Souls, so moving on. This was sort of the biggest one, the thing that they focused on the most, is Nintendo Tennis Ace, or Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't play the original Mario Tennis, but this looks really good. It talks about a lot of new mechanics that they're bringing to the game, and it looks like it can be a lot of fun. So I think I probably will end up getting it, just kind of like a sort of a party game, because you can play it with motion controls on the Switch. Sort of like everybody loved. Oh yeah, you can also play as a Chain Chomp, which I think is hilarious. I think it just seems like a lot of fun. You know, it even talks later how they do, they're going to do like online tournaments and stuff, and I think that could be really cool. So I might get into that a little bit. What else? Probably my second favorite thing that they announced in this. We'll get to my favorite thing later. My favorite thing, potentially, not Undertale. This. I grew up on Crash Bandicoot. I never played Crash 3, but I played the hell out of Crash 1 and 2. And sadly, I don't have a PlayStation 4, but now they're going to bring it to Switch. I have no idea how they managed to do this, because I believe that Crash is owned by Sony. So I am ecstatic that they bring it to the Switch. We're definitely going to play this on the channel. I don't remember the exact date that it's coming out. Let me peep. Nope, too far. July 10th. So that's going to be coming to the channel probably over summer, but I'm not positive. I'll have to let you know. A couple more indie games. Something I never thought would happen. Not Little Nightmares. Continue. Keep moving. They're bringing South Park. Nintendo has generally been the more PG of all the, you know, big game manufacturers, or you know, big console platformers anyway, between Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But they're bringing South Park, The Fractured But Whole. They made it very clear that those are two separate words in this direct. But I think, you know, it could be fun. I'm not. I personally I love South Park, but the idea of like a South Park video game is just like meh. So moving on, they're updating ARMS a little bit. They're gonna get into some ARMS online tournaments and stuff. I think that's really cool. They're updating Splatoon 2. I know a lot of people love Splatoon 2. I haven't played Splatoon 1 or 2, so I'm not that excited about it. They get into a little bit more sort of like a DLC story. Another piece of story mode for Splatoon 2. If you're into that kind of thing, I think Splatoon seems fun, but I've never really had the time for it, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I said, I think it seems fun, but not really my kind of game. Now, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. So, there was one thing that I was hoping for out of this Direct, and that was a Pokemon game for the Switch coming in 2018. I did not have high hopes. I did not really expect it, but it's what I wanted. And unfortunately, when they did, you know, Detective Pikachu in it, I pretty much knew that that wasn't going to happen. So I was like, well, you know what, we'll just keep watching, see what's going to happen. And then they said this at the end. You know, I'm going to actually turn on sound for this one. So I was like, I mean, they just talked about Splatoon. Like, what else are they gonna say about Splatoon? So I just kept watching it. I'm like, okay, it's a cool scene. You know, it's a cool little scene. You know, orange Inkling going up against a blue Inkling. Sure, some actiony sequences. Throwing a paint grenade. Sure. You know, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then the scene sets in, and I almost lost my mind. Right there, I was like, and this is when I knew that we are not getting a Pokemon game in 2018, but I don't care, because we're getting Smash. And wait, that is Breath of the Wild Link as well. So I guess they're going to be updating a lot of their characters. I hope that they bring some new Pokemon characters. Obviously, I'm a Nintendo fan in general. I'm a big Nintendo fanboy. But obviously Pokemon is my first love. So I really hope that they bring more Pokemon characters. I was honestly really disappointed in Smash. I never had a Wii U, but I did have Smash for 3DS. I was so disappointed. I wanted there to be some kind of plot line like there was in Brawl. I don't know how many times I've played through I think it's called the Subspace Emissary. I don't know why they chose those words, but that's what they chose. I played through that I don't know how many times, and I love it. So if they have a solid story, like campaign mode in this game, that's all I can ask for. I would also really love them to have Decidueye in it, and let's see if we can make out some characters that are in the outline there. Okay, so we clearly see there's Samus, Bowser. That looks like it could be Donkey Kong. I think a lot of them are really hard to make out. Obviously, this looks like Olimar, because it's like shiny and round. We see that looks like a bow, so that it looks like it's being like held down, you know. So I don't think that's Link, because it just showed Link and his bow was on his back. Who else used a bow in Smash? I mean, it could be Toon Link, I guess. But it looks a little bit tall for that. That looks like it could be a Fire Emblem character. I'm not seeing any new Pokemon. That, potentially, I don't have high hopes for. That looks like it could be Gallade. Just because I see a little, like, curve at the top there. But that's huge speculation. That probably looks like it could be Marth. Or potentially that could be Marth as well. I think as long as they add... They either bring back Mewtwo, because I was just so disappointed in Smash for 3DS that I returned it, and I believe Mewtwo was in the game, but I never got it. Because it was something you had to, like, unlock. But if they bring Mewtwo back like they had in Melee, because anytime I play Melee, I always use Mewtwo. If they add a new Pokemon character, that'd be really cool. And I would love to see just a couple more obscure characters besides the Inklings. I think Ice Climbers are super, they can be fun to use. I would like to see Rob come back from Brawl. So, I don't know. I'm overall incredibly happy. I don't think I could be... There's only one thing that could have made me more happy, but overall, I'm super happy that Smash is coming to the Switch in 2018. I'm going to be playing the hell out of that on the channel. You better believe it. Maybe that'll be the push to get me back into streaming. Who knows? But thank you very much for watching. That's going to be all we're going to be talking about here. I didn't want to make this too much over 20 minutes because nobody wants to see it. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did, please, please, please like and or subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch at CoolTrainerGav. And until next time, hopefully I don't get a copyright for this video. Smile later.